Hi, it's Vinny, and let's talk about poor people. Okay, so a little bit of information on that. I have this thing where I'm kind of the. Let me just say, I'm an observant individual. Sometimes I don't always participate in conversations. Sometimes I like to sit back and just listen to what people talk about. This was something I did a lot, especially when I used to work in retail, where we would have designated lunch breaks with basically a whole group of people, and I would just kind of sit down and listen to the conversations being had. Maybe I would nod or smile, but most of the time I'm just kind of sitting there listening to see what they think and what they have to say about people. And something that comes up a lot, not even just my job, also online, also within family, just comments that I hear from strangers, is the way people talk about poor people with nice items. Now, let me just say this straight first before I get into, the nuances of what I'm going to say. If I see a poor person, like let me just, assume that the situation is I know that they are struggling. If I see an individual that is struggling financially and I see that they have a nice new cell phone, I am not going to judge them. I don't know what their situation is. I don't know how long they've been saving up for that. I don't know where they got it. Was it a gift? I don't know anything about their situation. So when I see someone who's poor, who has something nice, good for them. Absolutely good for them. Now, I don't know if it's because, of my perspective where I am one of those poor people because I'm poor. Okay, I mentioned before that I don't have income and that I have grown up with a poor family. I've never even been close to even like lower middle class. I poor. I live in poverty right now. I've been homeless before. So the thing is that for me especially, I guarantee you that if a stranger, an absolute stranger, would come in my room and let's just say all they know about me is that I'm poor, right? If they were to come in my room and look at the things that I own, they would think so many negative thoughts about me. It's like, wow, she's so poor and yet she has this nice computer. Or, wow, she can't be that poor if she has all these figurines. Oh, guess the money is not, that much of an issue if she can afford all these video games. And the thing I really hate about that is because for me, one, I didn't buy any of those things. Not a single one of those things that I buy. Not one. I didn't purchase my computer. I didn't purchase any of my figurines. I didn't purchase most of my video games. Most, if not all of them. I didn't purchase a single one. Not any nice, expensive thing that I own did I buy myself. They have all been gifts and just basically generous offerings from other people that love me. And so it really freaking pisses me off when someone can just take a glance at me and be like, oh, you must be really struggling. I see you have that nice video game over there. It's like, yeah, I got it for my birthday last year. Is that a problem? Like, the thing is that, it's just this kind of entitlement where people feel like poor people do not deserve to feel good in their life. They do not. It's like this concept where it's like they think that they don't deserve happiness, pretty much. And let me just tell you that I cannot stand it. It drives me absolutely like it just drives me up a wall because it's like, who are you to say that I don't deserve to have this nice laptop? This laptop's my livelihood. Without it, I cannot do anything that I need to do. I cannot make these videos. I cannot do my artwork because I can't have access to people who if I wanted to do commissions, I can't. It's everything. It is everything. Especially if you're a freelancer, your computer is everything. That is your whole life. So it's like, these little things where I hear these comments, it's like, oh, look at that, you have this thing. It's like, it was a gift. Someone gave this to me for Christmas. Someone spoiled me and bought me this. Like, am I just supposed to reject all these gifts? Am I supposed to say, oh, no, thank you, I don't want this from you? It's like, no, I accept gifts. Like, it's not like I'm asking, like, I'm like, all right, guys, I made an Amazon wish list. I hope somebody buys me 50 figurines. It's like, no, like, people will listen, they'll know, they'll see me make a comment about something. It's like, oh, that's really cute. And then lo and behold, Christmas comes around, they remember that and they bought it for me. It's like, wow, what an awesome surprise. And I'm sick and tired of people trying to ruin people's happiness and their sense of, like, inner peace because they think that they don't deserve that. Like, I'm sorry, but my happiness isn't a luxury. It's not. And the thing is that nobody questions all the, things that other people buy. Like, the things, like, for example, if you're well off and you have a lot of money, no one questions, like, well, since you have the surplus of money, why'd you buy that third car of yours? Why didn't you give that money away to charity? What are you doing to help out? What are you doing to help the poor people that don't have access to this stuff? How come you're not giving back? It's like one of those things where it's like don't go there. Don't judge me for what I have because you don't know how I obtained that. For all there are people out there where maybe they've hit a rough spot. They're in a financial, like a ditch right now, and they have that nice designer bag, and you look at them and you're like, really? You're having a tough time? I mean, sweetie, look at your bag. And it's like, I got this before I had these struggles. It's like, what, do these things not exist anymore? Am I supposed to, like, throw them out because now I'm going through some hard times? It's like, no. And the thing that, like, again, like, the thing that gets constantly overlooked too is, like, you don't know what these items mean to people, especially to people that are in poverty. They mean absolutely everything to them. Because when you're that poor, when you're poor where you don't know if you're going to be able to have enough, to eat. You don't know what you're gonna make today. You don't know, if you're gonna be able to pay in your bills. You don't know if you're going to be kicked out of your apartment soon because you won't have enough for rent. When, like, when these things happen, it's like, what these items do? You know what that nice video game does? It is a coping mechanism. It is a distraction. It is an escape. And it is a way to take your mind off of the pain that you feel all the time. When you're poor, you're always aware that you're poor. There isn't a moment that I don't know that I'm not able to do certain things because I'm poor. Every time a friend invites me out, I feel miserable because it's like, how am I going to pay for this? Should I ask them if they could cover for me? No, that's so embarrassing. It's like, all right, who can I ask for, like, a little bit of cash so I can have maybe a night out with my friends? Oftentimes, I just kind of, like, say, like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that because I don't really have any money. And it's like, it's horrible. When you don't have anything, it's really something that is glaring in your face constantly. It's a constant reminder, and you never forget it. So these little things, to me, in my opinion, I think poor people deserve these things more than people who do have a surplus of money. Honest to God, I honestly feel like, things such as, luxury items, such as maybe a nice figurine, or maybe a video game, or, maybe a nice doll, or maybe a piece of art, something that makes that person really happy. I honestly think it does such a wonderful service, especially for one's mental health and one's, like, you know, like I was saying, this inner peace. It does so much for them. It is so therapeutic. And I know for me, it is absolutely a necessity. Sometimes the things that I've gotten as gifts, you know, video games or whatever, I like I honestly really just really am so happy that I received these things because, you know, when I'm in that time where, you know, I feel like I'm gonna have a panic attack or I don't know what to do or I'm in this funk where my depression's really hitting really hard, I'm like, oh my gosh, that person got me that game. Maybe I can play it for an hour and cheer myself up. And most often than not, it does the trick. It works. And once I've done that, I can move on and do something, you know, do something I need to do, some kind of responsibility that I have to take care of. But yeah, it's like these things are important, especially important and mean the world to people who live in poverty that have financial struggles. And you know, don't you dare judge them for it. So I really hope that if anyone's ever felt that way, if anyone's ever, you know, walked out into, you know, walked down the street and saw someone that, you know, is on welfare or whatever, or however they think, you know, whatever they think about them, and they see them with a nice purse or maybe with a new phone or maybe some nice designer sneakers or whatever, don't judge them. Don't judge them. It's not your life. You have no place in it. You don't know what that means to them. You don't know what they had to do to get it. You don't know if they've been saving for 2 years to buy this item. Butt out, be quiet, and understand that you know what? That person's still there. They're making it, they're coping, and you know, they're ready to take on life just like you are. Yeah, sorry about that. So I just really wanted to get that off my chest. So yeah, just want to say thanks again for listening, and I hope you enjoy. Bye.